It's a 1965 R69S. It's a 600cc. They had two 600cc models and one 500. Two 500 models also. The R69S is the high performance version. The R60 is the lower performance version that they used for sidecar work and stuff. And then there was the R50 and the R50S, which was a high performance version of the 500 model. And the R50 and R60 were called from 1959 on R50/2 and R60/2. Bought it in 1992 as a collection of parts. Yeah, actually, I originally bought it with the intention of selling the parts at swap meets to acquire funds to restore my 1966 Royal Enfield Interceptor. And a couple of my BMW enthusiast friends started pestering me about it, put the bike together. So in 1996 I decided to go ahead and restore it, build a motorcycle out of all the parts I had. And I started in February of 1996 and had it completed by May of 1996 in time to enter it in the OVM Vintage Motorcycle Club show. And won third place. I purchased those from an old Hell's Angel named Jerry Collins, who moved up to Eugene and opened a little shop. They were off of a Triumph originally, and they came with the Triumph mounting racks. And I sanded them off, cleaned them up, and put black paint and had it striped. And I had the welding department at the community college I worked at have a student make up some mounts for me. And they're Buco bags. And the advertisements in the old magazines say you pronounce Buco the way you would pronounce beauty, so Buco. Well, I do enamel work, and a friend of mine had a Ural sidecar outfit and wanted me to make some red stars to put on his Ural. And when somebody gives me a custom order, I always make extra in case I screw up the first batch. And I made 4 of them, and all 4 of them turned out okay, so I decided to put them on this.
Cool.
Those are my idea of senseless acts of copying and random trademark infringement. I belong to the ADV online forum, adventureriders.com, and just thought I'd make some badges that say ADV on them. It's sort of their unofficial name. ADV. I've made a bunch of other custom badges with different letters on them. It's just standard coil-over shock absorbers in there. When I first rode one of these, I didn't really care for the handling. It seemed ponderous. But I've grown to appreciate it. It's very stable in corners. Automatically, when you hit the brakes hard, the front forks go up instead of down. So it's anti-dive front suspension. Fork, invented by an Englishman named Ernie Earls, and he licensed the technology to BMW plus other manufacturers of motorcycles, and they were popular on the BMWs. They phased them out gradually, starting in I think 1968. They introduced a telescopic fork model called the R69 US. You could also get the R60 as a US model. And then in 1970, when they brought out the /5, the Earls forks were abandoned. Those are the original pipes. There's a tendency for the original pipes on these to rust out from the inside if you don't ride the bike long distances at any time. And one of these has got some bulges where you can't see them that have little cracks in them. This is as far from perfect. I restored it to ride, not to show off and win prizes with. And so there's a lot of flaws, but none of them interfere with its ability to ride as a motorcycle. Since I got it restored, Steve Prokop built the motor. A lot of BMW enthusiasts know who he is. Since I got it restored, all I've done is change the oil, adjust the valves, put tires on it, and lubricate the final drive splines. And I had the transmission out once and lubricated the clutch splines. It's probably due to be opened up and have the oil slingers in the crankshaft cleaned out, because there's no oil filter, and these things pick up a bunch of crud over time and fill up, and then they don't work anymore. It's been 24 years since I restored it, and ridden every year since that time. You know, when I got the bike, I looked at the frame and saw those little things the pump attaches to. It's a bicycle pump, and Hanson's BMW down in Medford had one in stock, and I think it was about $25. If you know how, no it isn't, and if you have the right tools. I mean, I've changed tires with a screwdriver back when I was a lot younger and didn't care too much. Bangs the rims up pretty badly, but I've never needed to change a tire or do a repair on the road. I don't know why. I've never picked up a nail or anything on this bike and had a flat. Just luck. Yeah, the wheels are easy to take off. I mean, basically you undo the nut at the end of the axle and pull the axle out. It wants to go towards the front tire when it's on the stand, but you can put something on the back there to weight it down. But all of the airhead BMWs are notoriously difficult to get up on the stands.
Yeah.
I put those on about, oh God, it's been a little over 10 years. A couple of friends of mine, Steve Caffey and Ken Frobig, and I started taking annual trips about 2008. We all own R69S's. Ken owns an R69, which is 1953/2 era, 1958. And we decided to take a trip every summer, 2 or 3 days, well, 3 or 4 days, 2 nights or three nights, different place every year, but mostly just around Oregon into California. And we started getting interested in Forest Service roads and dirt roads. And after a couple of years of doing that, I found these Shinko knobby tires, 244 Golden Boys they're called, $50 each, and put some on my bike, and they worked so well off-road that Ken and Steve put them on their bikes as well. I had a spare set of rims, so I was able to keep the Metzler tires on my aluminum rims for road use. I haven't used those since I put these on. But one advantage to the BMWs of this era was that both wheels are identical, front and rear. And so if you look at my front and rear tires, you'll notice the front tire looks like a rear, how they wear out in the middle. I just rotated my tires after 5 years of riding it. I noticed the rear tire was starting to look a little worn in the middle, and I just swapped the wheels in for in. The only difference between the front and rear is that the axle is a little thicker at the back, and there's a tube that goes through the front wheel to compensate for that. But they both have splines for the final drive. They both have brake drums. So, you know, and they're both 18-inch wheels, so it doesn't matter. And they're the same size tire. You can only get this tire in 350/18 when we bought them. So they're both the same size tire. Nice convenience. I get twice as many miles out of a pair of tires.
BMW instruction manual. What does it have to say? Is this the instruction manual for the motorcycle or for life? If you want to be happy for a day, drink. If you want to be happy for a year, marry. If you want to be happy for a lifetime, ride a BMW.
Can you edit out all the shitty stuff?
Yeah.
You could leave that part in if you want to.